It was a chilly December night, and the parking lot was nearly empty. I stood there, scraping the ice off my windshield, muttering curses under my breath. The cold bit into my skin, and the silence around me felt unnaturally heavy. Most of my coworkers had already gone home, leaving me alone in the dimly lit lot. Settling into my car, I tried to shake off the fatigue of the long day. But as I buckled my seatbelt, a sudden rush of adrenaline coursed through me. It felt like I was being watched. I tried to ignore it, chalking it up to exhaustion, but the feeling lingered. It was unsettling, like eyes were boring into me from the darkness. The pale green light surrounded my car, seeping into every corner of the night. Confused and uneasy, I stepped out to investigate. Then, I looked up and froze. A massive UFO hovered above me, its green and yellow lights pulsing against the night sky. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen, silent, yet deafening in its presence. My stomach churned with dread. Panic set in as I realized my car door was locked. My trembling hands fumbled with the key, but it refused to work. Behind me, the UFO grew louder, its hum vibrating through the air. My heart pounded in my chest, and just as I thought I was out of time, the craft shot into the sky, disappearing as quickly as it had come. I drove in silence, gripping the wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. The roads were icy, but that was the least of my concerns. That feeling of being watched crept over me again, and then I saw the pale green light reappearing in my rearview mirror. My pulse quickened as I realized it was following me. The light followed me all the way to my street. It illuminated everything: my house, the trees, even the snow on the ground. I sat frozen in my driveway, unsure if I should lead it away or stay put. Before I could decide, the light shot into the sky, leaving me in total darkness. Exhausted and on edge, I tried to sleep, but the sound of scratching at my window jolted me awake. My heart raced as I stared at the glass, dreading what I might see. A shadow darted past, barely visible in the moonlight. Whatever it was, it wasn't done with me. I pulled the curtain aside and looked into the yard. At first, I saw nothing, just darkness, but then it appeared. A pale, gray creature with a bulbous head and sunken black eyes peeked out from behind the tree. Its long, skeletal fingers clung to the bark. We locked eyes, and it quickly vanished into the shadows. A loud crash shattered the silence, and my car alarm blared. I rushed to the front door, peering through the window. My trash can was overturned, but nothing else seemed out of place. Then, my neighbor's voice startled me, breaking the tension. Adam, my next-door neighbor, stood with his barking dog. He explained that someone had been lurking around my yard and had run off into the woods. He called the police, but I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just an ordinary trespasser. The police arrived shortly after, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They searched the property, but there was no sign of the intruder. When I mentioned the creature, I expected them to dismiss me, but the officer's calm response was unsettling. I wasn't the first to report something strange in the area, he said. Even now, I can't fully explain what happened that night. The UFO, the creature, the strange lights, they were all too real to ignore. I never saw them again, but the memory still haunts me. Sometimes, late at night, I find myself looking out the window, just in case.